真是忍不住要吐槽一下浦东机场。
I just can't help but complain about Pudong Airport. Is this really the airport of Shanghai, an international metropolis? I've been to many airports and Pudong definitely lives up to its reputation of simplicity. But aside from the crowded Sunrise duty-free store, I can't think of anything worth checking out. If you're looking to eat or drink, the options are painfully limited. When the satellite terminal opened, they made such a big deal about it, saying all the popular time-honored brands would be there. But what do we have now? A few random shops here and there, and a whole lot of empty, desolate space. Some signs claim same city, same price. Sounds nice, right? But take a look at the drinks. They're often 2 or 3 times the price you'd pay at a convenience store outside. 7-Eleven, the lifesaver, is almost nowhere to be found inside the security area. Even buying a bottle of water is a struggle. As for shopping, forget it. Besides the cosmetics and alcohol at Sunrise, there's hardly anything else. A Chinese user on the platform Douyin recently highlighted the lack of energy at Pudong Airport.
卫星厅倒是真大 ，S1
The satellite terminal is huge, brand new, but the problem is it's just too empty. The shops are scattered far apart and it's impossible to gather any crowd. Walking around with my suitcase, it just feels deserted. Another user recently visited Pudong's Terminals 1 and 2, where the once bustling atmosphere filled with travelers from all over the world is now gone. Many international flights have been cancelled or reduced, with cancelled frequently flashing on flight displays. Airport staff reveal that many international flights are now operating with significantly low passenger numbers. Several airlines have already reduced their flight frequencies to Shanghai, and some foreign carriers have withdrawn entirely from Pudong, redirecting their routes to other popular Asia-Pacific cities such as Tokyo, Singapore, and Seoul. Both Shanghai Pudong and Hongqiao international airports are managed by Shanghai Airport Authority. The company is currently facing leadership instability. On October 24th, the board announced the General Manager Huang Zhenglin had submitted his resignation. Chinese media later reported that Huang is missing, suggesting he may be under official investigation, considering the political climate in China. The leadership shakeup is tied to the company's poor performance. In August 2019, Shanghai Airport's market capitalization nearly reached 170 billion yuan, with its stock price doubling within a year. However, since then, the company's stock has been on a downward trajectory. Today, its market value is just over 80 billion yuan. Both its valuation and performance have lost their former luster. Once highly profitable, Shanghai Airport has now entered an era of thin margins. In 2019, the company reached a record net profit of 5 million yuan, but it has since posted losses for 3 consecutive years. 1.3 billion yuan in 2020, 1.7 billion yuan in 2021, and 3 billion yuan in 2022. The losses from 2020 to 2022 were largely due to the pandemic's heavy impact on civil aviation. But even in 2023 and 2024, after the pandemic ended, Shanghai Airport's recovery has been sluggish. Its profits are still far below pre-pandemic levels, and its profitability has significantly declined. Between 2017 and 2019, the company's gross margin hovered around 50%. In 2023 and the first 3 quarters of 2024, margins dropped to 16.5% and 22.6%. High margins are no longer a reality. This shift signals a fundamental and negative change in Shanghai Airport's business model. In the past, duty-free rental income was one of the company's most profitable revenue streams. In 2019, Shanghai Airport earned 5.2 billion yuan in rent from China Tourism Group Duty-Free Corporation Limited. However, in early 2021, amidst a sharp decline in international passenger traffic and weakened bargaining power, Shanghai Airport signed a supplemental agreement with China duty-free subsidiary Sunrise Duty-Free Shanghai. The rent structure changed from a minimum guarantee no-cap model to one based on passenger volume, no longer directly tied to sales. China duty-free performance has also taken a hit. In 2024, its net profit was 4.3 billion yuan, less than half of what it earned in 2021. Long-term, Shanghai Airport can't rely much on duty-free income. The duty-free business is on the decline. China's duty-free sector mainly includes offshore, Hainan, and airport duty-free sales, both of which are underperforming. According to Haikou Customs, total offshore duty-free spending in Hainan amounted to 30.9 billion yuan in 2024, down nearly 30% from 2023. Airport duty-free sales are also facing significant challenges. According to a UBS report, while Shanghai Airport's international and regional passenger numbers in 2024 increased by 94% year-on-year, per passenger, duty-free spending fell 32%. Overall, duty-free sales may only reach about half of 2019 levels. Several factors are contributing to this decline. In the past, duty-free shops attracted consumers by offering foreign brands at lower prices, but in recent years, the middle class has experienced a spending downgrade, and domestic brands have entered into fierce price wars, which has reduced the appeal of duty-free shopping. These trends align with the financial results of China's three major state-owned airlines in 2024, all of which have posted losses for the fifth consecutive year. Although China lifted strict pandemic restrictions in early 2023 and expanded visa-free policies to attract foreign visitors, inbound tourism has not returned to pre-pandemic levels. According to official data, 64.9 million foreign travel entries and exits were recorded in 2024, far below the 97.7 million in 2019. On October 22nd, a Douyin user showed in a video the sparse crowd at Pudong Airport at night. In the video, filmed in July, the vlogger noted the weak economy and fewer travelers. Pudong Airport, one of the country's largest, and is now nearly empty with very few passengers. In September, a video posted online showed the empty waiting halls at Pudong Airport. A vlogger recorded the deserted tarmac at Shanghai Hongqiao Airport. Empty tarmacs usually signals a reduction in flight scheduling, often linked to a drop in passenger traffic.
虹桥机场的2号航站楼
This is the parking area at Terminal 2 of Hongqiao Airport. It looks pretty empty.
A Shanghai traveler also filmed scenes at Pudong International Airport's international satellite terminal, showing a lack of passengers, closed shops, and empty VIP lounges, almost like a ghost town. This unusual situation has not only confused passengers but also sparked questions about why the airport hasn't closed the inefficiently operating sections. Sources close to the matter revealed that Pudong Airport is currently facing a severe cash flow crisis. To keep operations running, the airport has sought liquidity loans from several state-owned banks and requested emergency subsidies from the government. Even with these measures, internal discussions about layoffs and salary cuts have already begun. Many frontline workers have reported delays in salary payments, with some employees saying their wages haven't been paid on time for months. Recently, rumors surfaced that Pudong Airport is planning to lay off 8,000 workers. Although this has not been officially confirmed, various reports highlight the airport's operational difficulties, and many employees are expressing concern and frustration. Online users shared their thoughts in the comment sections. There's hidden debt from city investment. International flights still have a long way to go before recovery. They borrowed high-interest stock to short sell. Now they're suffering the consequences. There are so many vacant rooms and shops at the airport, it's like begging for food with a golden bowl. Having abundant resources yet still starving. Shanghai Airport Group is controlled by the Shanghai SASAC. It is linked to Jiang Mianheng, the eldest son of former Chinese Communist Party CCP leader Jiang Zemin. Jiang Mianheng's investment company, Shanghai United Investment, has long been involved with Shanghai Airport. One of Jiang's public roles is serving on the board of Shanghai Airport Group, and his family also participates in the operation of Pudong Airport's duty-free shops, partnering with companies like Sunrise Duty Free. In August 2018, Wu Jianrong, the former vice chairman and chairman of Shanghai Airport Group, was removed from his post for corruption. He was accused of being a front for Jiang's family. The financial struggles at Shanghai Airport reflect the challenges facing China's airport industry as a whole. Reports and data show that since 2024, China's civil aviation passenger throughput has partially recovered from the pandemic, with some airports even surpassing 2019 levels. However, revenue and profit growth has lagged, mainly due to price competition, slow recovery of international passenger traffic, a drop in non-aviation income like duty-free sales, and rising operational costs. For example, Beijing Capital Airports Holding, which operates 34 airports and is the largest airport group in China and globally, reported 241 million passengers in 2024, accounting for 16.5% of China's total. However, despite this recovery, CAH has incurred losses totaling 39.5 billion yuan from 2020 to 2024 and is expected to post another loss of 916 million yuan in Q1 2025. Analysts argue that CAH shift from a 5.9 billion yuan profit in 2019 to massive losses highlights not just management issues but also systemic problems within China's civil aviation industry. These issues stem from a lack of separation between government and enterprise, as well as failing infrastructure investment model. CAH's losses are largely driven by its heavy infrastructure investment and debt burdens. The group has invested over 160 billion yuan in projects like Beijing Daxing Airport, Tianjin Binhai Phase 3, and Nanshan Changbei Phase 3. These funds were raised through a combination of self-funding, bank loans, and bond insurance. Much of this investment, however, was driven by local governments pursuing showcase projects, leaving CAH to bear the debt and operational pressure. In 2024, the group's financial expenses reached 1.5 billion yuan, equivalent to paying 4 million yuan in interest per day. With total fixed assets of 89.6 billion yuan and accumulated depreciation of 63.6 billion yuan, CAH's net assets stand at just 26 billion yuan, putting it at risk of insolvency. When Beijing Daxing Airport opened in 2019, it immediately reduced traffic at the older capital airport. High debt interest and depreciation costs continued to constrain profitability. Even with the 2024 recovery, the group's finances remain in a bind, stuck in a built it but can't use it scenario. This high investment, low return model has dragged the group into a deep financial hole. Founded in 2002, CAH is a state-owned enterprise directly under the Civil Aviation Administration of China. While it's technically a market-driven company that should aim for profitability, it's actually burdened with many policy-driven tasks, limiting its commercial independence. Corruption within the leadership has also been a serious issue. For example, former chairman Zhang Zhizhong was sentenced to 20 years of bribery in 2012, and former general manager Shi Bo-li was sentenced to 3 years in 2017. In May 2025, former General Liu Chunchen was also investigated. This further exposes deep problems in the group's management efficiency and governance structure. Despite the widespread financial struggles at airports, the Chinese government continues to invest heavily in building new airports. China is entering a new wave of airport construction. In March 2021, the Chinese government issued the National Comprehensive Three-Dimensional Transportation Network Plan Outline, which sets a goal of around 400 civil airports by 2035. According to the 2020 Blue Book on the Development of Civil Airports in China released by the China Airport Association, China had 238 civil airports in 2019. This means the country's plans to add more than 150 new airports by 2035, averaging about 10 new airports per year. China's airport sector has long been criticized for redundancy and resource waste. This issue, however, has only worsened under General Secretary Xi Jinping's leadership. From 2013 to 2023, more than 100 new airports were built in China, with total investments exceeding 1.5 trillion yuan. Yet over 60% of these airports have an annual passenger throughput of fewer than 3 million, and their average utilization rate is just 46%, the lowest in the world. Many of these airports lacking sufficient flight routes and passenger or cargo demand are losing money every year. For example, Tianjin Binhai Airport, which cost 12 billion yuan to build, operates fewer than 50 flights per day. Changchun Longjia Airport, which had a 10 billion yuan expansion, saw its flight volume drop by 30%. These ghost airports are a massive waste of funds, leading to significant inefficiency. Of China's 263 airports, only 40 handle more than 10 million passengers annually, contributing to 83% of the country's total passenger traffic. Between 2014 and 2024, Yunnan Airport Group, which manages more than 10 airports, reported losses for 10 consecutive years, totaling nearly 10 billion yuan. Similarly, Sichuan Airport Group, which operates more than 10 airports, accumulated losses of 10.7 billion yuan over the past 4 years. These losses have been converted into local debt. On April 11th this year, a Douyin user showed in a video the sparse passenger traffic at Dalian. Zhou Shuizhi International Airport, criticizing the local government for wasting resources by building a new airport.
就现在这个经济大环境，
In today's economic climate, Dalian Zhou International Airport on a weekend night at 11:20. Look at the number of passengers. There's no one here. The international terminal is closed. No people, no planes. I'm just sitting here waiting. You tell me, Dalian doesn't need to reclaim land to build the Jinzhou Bay International Airport. Zhou Airport is just the right size for Dalian. Once the Jinzhou Bay is finished, who's even going to fly there? Where's the traffic? What a waste of money.
Jingzhou Bay International Airport, currently under construction in the eastern waters of Jingzhou Bay in Dalian, is located about 18 kilometers southeast of Zhoushuizhi International Airport. Construction officially began on June 15, 2024. Some analysts believe that the 150 plus new airports planned by the authorities will primarily be built in smaller cities that currently lack airports. However, state media have also acknowledged that many of China's existing small and medium-sized airports are already heavily loss-making, an open secret. According to the 2019 Civil Aviation Production Statistic Bulletin released by the Civil Aviation Administration of China, 165 small and medium-sized airports in China have an annual passenger throughput of less than 2 million, making up 70% of the country's total airports. But these airports account for only 6.8% of the total passenger traffic. In 2019, a study analyzed the financial data of 75 small and medium-sized airports in different regions of China. It found that 78.7% of these airports were operating at a loss, with 45.3% reporting losses of over 10 million yuan. One well-known example is Lingling Airport in Yongzhou, Hunan. Located in a remote area with limited capacity and flight schedules, it was initially expected to handle 400,000 passengers. But by 2016, the airport only had about 110,000 passengers, just a quarter of its original target. The airport has been humorously referred to as almost turning into a pasture. In 2013, 1 year before the completion of Hanyang Nanyuan Airport, Hunan had already built civil airports in 5 cities: Changsha, Zhangjiajie, Changde, Huaihua, and Yongzhou, with Yongzhou's airport struggling to even stay afloat. In July this year, well-known blogger Lao Man commented on what he considers China's most wasteful infrastructure project currently under construction, the Pearl River Delta Hub Airport in Gaoming, Foshan. The project has a total investment of 41.9 billion yuan, and although the basic construction is completed, the main structure is still under construction, with plans to open in 2028. The planned annual passenger capacity is 80 million. Lao Man argued that given the long-term economic slump, major airports are struggling to maintain their current traffic with no prospects for growth. He believes that building one of the country's largest airport in Gaoming, a location far removed from the heart of the Pearl River Delta, is a poor decision. If the airport manages to attract just 1% of its projected passenger flow, about 800,000 people, that would be considered a success. He pointed out that the airport's own cash flow will never be enough to cover its operating cost, making the investment a waste of money. On August 27th this year, construction began on Heihe-Luobei Airport in Heilongjiang Province. This small city, with a population of under 1 million and the lowest housing prices in the country, will now have an airport, sparking public debate. Chinese issues expert Yue Shan commented that Xi Jinping's government is inefficient, focused on vanity projects and constantly pursuing unfinished and wasteful infrastructure projects like the so-called Millennium Plan for Xiong'an area. Under Xi's leadership, local officials have followed suit, prioritizing showy projects that waste the public's money, adding to the hardship of the Chinese people.